Module 10, the physical environment. When we study ecosystems, we not only have to look at the relationships between organisms, we need to look at the environment in which they live. The physical environment includes all the non-living components of an ecosystem. Parameters such as available water, temperature, air quality, and other things are included in the physical environment. You're probably familiar with many of the physical components of certain ecosystems. For example, the temperature in a desert or in the Arctic. How about the pressure felt at the top of a mountain or the pressure felt down at the ocean floor? The water availability in a lake or the water availability in a desert. Now, if you are looking at an oasis in the desert, then the water availability is different than other parts of the desert. Of course, when we denote the boundaries of an ecosystem we want to focus on, then we can make better observations about it. And the smaller the area, the easier it is to define. For example, you could look at the physical environment of a large forest, or the physical environment of the area under a fallen leaf in that same forest. When we restrict the boundaries, it's much easier to figure out the food webs too. Under the leaf, there may be some mosses, some ants, worms, or insects. These creatures would be easier to place into a trophic web as compared to all the creatures living in a forest. But if you restrict an area too much, you can only learn a little about what's going on there. To study the rabbit population in Australia, you would definitely have to consider an area much larger than under a fallen leaf. Even though it would be more complex, you would gain much more information about what's going on. So, when we define an ecosystem, we then can look at its physical environment. In the next sections, I will be going over the physical parameters of water, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen.